Guys, I am Chris Knight. This is the Real Review 3000, and this is the Mandalorian Roundtable for episode number 2. So, we pretty much had all the formalities last time as far as what we thought of the pilot and all that. We're going to dive a little deeper into where this is going now. I don't know if a whole ton happened in this episode, really, but it does give you an outline now where they might be going with this. So before we start, let's just go around the board right now with who we have here, and we will go ahead and have everybody introduce themselves. I'll start with the person on my technically right, for me, but my left. Comix Division, Comix, go ahead and tell them who you are, where you can be found, all that fun stuff.
Oh, good grief. So I have a YouTube channel. It's Comix Division. I used to talk about comics. Now I primarily talk about everything else other than comics. You can find me both on Twitter and YouTube at Comix Division.
And I do have everybody linked down below. Even Stig, even though he's not here, Stig got sick today or isn't feeling good. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but he won't be here today. But everybody is linked down in the description. Comix, I also put your BitChute on there.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about BitChute for some reason.
Yeah, but I put that on there. But we're going to go right back around here. Final, why don't you tell them who you are, what you're about, all that good stuff.
Hello there.
Hello.
Well, I'm Final Death Star. I have a channel on YouTube where I talk about Star Wars and nerdy pop culture stuff, movies, films, TV. I guess movies and films are kind of the same thing. Sort of redundant, I guess. Yeah, comics. So
Actually,
check me out. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just going to say, actually, a film is something you go to a festival to see. A movie is something you just go to a theater with a bunch of other people. No.
But now a lot of films can be in any kind of festival. The festival doesn't have to be a good one. They have a lot of crappy festivals that films are shown in. But yeah, so just check out my let's see here, my page right in the description. Oh no, it's not there, Chris. It's not there.
Which one?
I do not see it.
What did it not save? Hold on. Show
Stig's
more.
in there. You can go to check out Stig.
Oh, that's right. No. Yours is not there because you are the fill-in. I will. You know what? See if you can type it in there. I don't think I have anything.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything that keeps you from doing it. If it does stop you, I'll make sure I put it in there.
Oh, well, it's quite all right.
Okay.
We'll figure it.
And then next up, Bear, come on down and tell everybody what you are or who you are, what you're about, all that fun stuff.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Well, I'm on the Fourth Wave show, and sometimes we do Fourth Wave shows really late and till the wee hours of the morning. And because Final and I, we were talking about the Mandalorian and pretty much everything under the sun that goes bump in the night.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a grand old time. So how's everyone doing? Hey, Real Nation, how you doing?
Now, Mike. Hey, Mike, what's going on?
Not too bad, sir. I'm late, fellas. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we
just
can.
fine.
Yes, we can, Mike.
I
So,
got
Mike,
I got some headphones tonight, so it shouldn't echo so bad.
So, Mike, why don't you tell everybody who you are, what you're about, where they can find you, etc., etc.
Well, I'm better known as 60 Reki. I contribute at Bleeding Fool, contributing my talents as an editor, I guess you could say, not that there's much there, to Steven's Fandom Menace project, as everybody's heard. Hopefully, everybody's heard.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost finished our campaign, and hopefully we'll be talking with everybody on Sunday. I think Steven plans a show, and of course we'll have everybody over and around, and we'll see what happens then. But tonight we're in for a little bit of chit-chat for the regular guys. Thanks for coming out, Final, and Comix and Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
Thanks for having me on this show.
We got like three quarters of the Fourth Wave, or actually 3/5, because you guys normally have 5 of you, right?
Normally, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like
and Steven. And then we have Immortal Coil too, so we kind of have 6.
that's true.
Coil, yeah.
Is it like
Yeah.
is it like Airheads, the Lone Ranger? or the Lone Rangers.
Yeah.
It's like you can't have multiple of the lone.
Speaking of, I think Steven's on the road, isn't he? On his way home or something?
I thought he was. I thought that was maybe Friday, but maybe it's tonight. Yeah,
I'm not
he
sure.
was heading back.
And we have Shellback TJC. Shellback, go ahead and tell everybody who you are, what you're about, where they can find you. Go,
Hey,
Dude.
Shelly.
dude.
So I'm like, where's the link?
It's
And
down
I'm like,
there.
You know.
It was
Oh.
And, well,
the DM.
you put it in there, but I didn't see it. Like you posted it, and then when I went back to check it again, it was like further down the list. I'm like, what the hell? It's like, is he all of a sudden racist against turtles or something?
I don't have any problems with turtles. You should know this.
These are lies.
Yeah. You
Hey,
should have
hey,
heard
whoa,
earlier.
whoa, whoa. Whoa, don't throw the host under the bus. So, tell them what you're all about there, Shellback.
I'm all about boats and hoes,
Well,
and I'm
great.
I'm a sailor. What else would I be about? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just your average run-of-the-mill, no-name fandom minister, fandom collectiver, toxic, middle-aged white male. I mean, green turtle.
yes, sure you are. And like I said, everybody's information is linked down below except for finals. Did you get? Yeah. Wait. Did you
I put
get
in.
final?
Yeah,
We did. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure
I put it
you
in
did
the
that.
chat. Yeah.
All right, cool. I appreciate it. Now, give me just 1 second as I go ahead and tweet this out shamelessly one more time.
Hey, one more thing though. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can do this while I'm moving. Car video. Car video.
Nice.
While driving.
More
driving.
clapping.
Oh
More
God!
clapping.
I'm expecting to hear.
Top that freaking Pablo freaking Buddha belly freaking cuckamuckaluck freaking Hidalgo. You freaking rat bastard.
Tell us how you really feel, Shell.
Yeah.
Well, no, I used to like the dude. I used to like the dude, you know, because I'm like, because he, you know, he's put out some freaking pretty kick-ass looking books, you know, as far as like, you know, all the different, you know, equipment and creatures and stuff that you'd find in the Star Wars universe, and then he starts talking his bullshit. You know, like.
Mm-hmm. Gotta wonder
And like-
sometimes.
No.
And you know, the icing on the flipping cake was when I got freaking blocked on Twitter. I've never freaking
Yeah.
I've never tweeted the man.
I think I'm
nothing,
still
really.
blocked by
And
him.
Did he
It's
blockchain people?
I think I am.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
got blocked by him
Yeah.
too, and I've never talked to him before.
Yeah.
Anybody
Now, who
that had
does-
anything whatsoever to do
Talk about the
with
Star Wars
like
Explain guy.
geeks and gamers
No.
and you know the fandom menace types and stuff. Yeah, boom. And like
I don't want to
Yeah.
talk to you because you're toxic and
I love it when he's.
I'm just too busy. I'm just too busy upstairs. I can't. Give me peace. I need peace.
Stop being toxic.
I gotta suck
Stop.
Kathleen Kennedy's cock, and I need total silence for that.
Okay, going to the settings
Blocked
right
too.
now. We're going to change
Not
this
for
to-
children.
yeah.
COPTA not approved.
This is not
There
okay.
went the rating. There went the rating for the stream. I'm sorry.
Kappa
Not really, but
and YouTube. If you think just because we're talking Star Wars that this is a thing for kids, you're sorely going to be mistaken.
Mike's
That was your warning.
vaporized Jawas are
Oh.
definitely for kids.
Oh, for sure.
Sorry,
Spoil-
Mike. I didn't see.
Spoiler alert.
Dropped out.
Spoiler alert.
Went to hit mute and left.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
hate
that
that.
happens. Okay. Let's get this back on the rails. We've had 10 minutes of fun chit chat.
No. No, I like them off.
I know.
I'm like them
Oh,
off.
he likes things to be a little bit chaotic.
Oh, I love it too. It's just, here's the deal. Okay, episode 2. Like I said, we've already been through the formalities, what we thought of the first episode, so on and so forth. We'll kind of get into what we thought of the second episode, but now we're going to go into more themes, what's going on, stuff like that. First off, the Mandalorian spoken all of about what, 50 words?
Yeah, very few. He's a man of little words.
He is, and actually, he's talking to his friend. And you see here, I'm going to go. I used to know the names of what the creatures were. The guy that helped him fix his ship.
Quill the Ugnaught.
Yeah,
Quill, yeah.
So
He
spoke more to this guy than anybody, and that guy speaks so less to him. It's like, I have spoken. It's like, I don't care what you have to say. And yet he speaks more to Quill than anybody else. It's kind of like, what the hell? Okay.
Yeah, it's very few words going back and forth. It's a very quick conversation. They kind of get right to the point and then move along in the scene.
Yeah, but does it seem to hinder this series at all? What do you guys think of that? Let's go with that.
Negative.
The lack of conversation going on, does it hinder the Mandalorian?
It doesn't bother me. No,
Yeah, it doesn't bother
I'm
me
okay
either.
with it. I think his Go ahead, Shell.
Oh no! Well, I was just gonna say there's all kinds of communication. It's called that kick-ass rifle he's got with those outrageous bullets that makes you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah,
Vapor,
those pretty
disintegrating
outrageous bullets.
disintegrating people are all that he needs to say.
We're gonna
He's
get to
reaching
that
out
here.
and touching all sorts of Jawa.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, a couple of that type of stuff here in a second.
The Baby Yoda show.
Why are you here, Sean? Don't you have an interview to do?
What's up, Sean?
Yeah. Okay. So are we under agreement that the lack of dialogue isn't hurting this at all?
I don't think it's hurting it.
Okay.
Nope, I don't
Not at
either.
all.
No.
No,
Bear.
Actions speak louder than words.
There's been movies that didn't have lots of dialogue.
Oh, I'm not.
Look at Clint Eastwood's westerns. The majority of those didn't
Yeah.
have lots.
Oh yeah.
Fistful of
That's-
dollars. Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
exactly what they're patterning this off of as well. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with him not
Also-
speaking a lot as long as he's engaged in a good amount of action. That speaks enough. It speaks volumes.
Yeah, as long as it's still entertaining, they don't have to have a lot of dialogue. You can do visual storytelling.
No, I'm
Yeah.
totally for it. I mean, so far I have liked the tonality, the visual, and the speed at which this show is going.
Speaking of speaking, who else here has seen the tweet from Anita Sarkeesian
Oh God, yes,
about
Yep.
this?
that was
Yeah.
funny.
I
Oh,
retweeted it
about-
enough
about
times. You better
the-
have seen it.
A
Not
couple
enough.
of people, a couple
Yeah.
of people like retweeted it or whatever. One of whom is the illustrious drunk 3PO, and so he like made a video about this, among other people, I'm sure. But so I got on the service, right, and clicked on that episode, went to that scene. Okay, it is approximately a 2.5-minute scene from the first time that you see old gal at the forge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
from that time until the basically when he gets back in the Razor Crest. Minutes. Okay.
She's doing like the
So-
third most manly
she-
thing in the whole damn
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, that's
So-
one of
so-
my
so
comments
there
is
you-
the fact that
yeah.
she's basically a man.
She's a blacksmith.
Yeah.
I mean,
So first of all, she's on screen for 2.5 minutes. All right. And out of that 2.5 minutes, she was talking for somewhere around half that time. So basically, 1 minute out of 2.5, you have this female talking. Okay. How in the holy hell does Miss Sarkeesian? Is she? Was she drinking a little bit too much? Did she black out for like a minute or two? I mean, what? How do you miss that?
Well, I go.
Like,
she
seriously,
completely
how
missed the
do
fact
you
that it
miss
was
that?
the very masculine woman, so that's the reason why she thought it was a man, most likely.
I have
No,
a
this
solution.
goes-
I have a solution to the problem, gentlemen. Here, this is all. I have a theory of this, and I'm so very happy, Shelley, that you brought this up. I have a theory about this. Pop that up for us for a second, Chris. I just wanted to.
She's
I
not
can make
relevant.
this absolutely. Oh well, I can make this absolutely clear.
Wait,
I have a theory as well.
what do you got?
See if you can. It's our Sarkeesian tweet from today.
Oh, okay. Hold on, I gotta go find it.
No, I have it right
No,
here.
he
You just
has
have
it
to
Oh,
pulled
you
pull
do?
up. You just need to share it.
Yep,
Oh
just
yeah, that's
screenshot
right. No,
that
I
one.
forgot. Yeah, I forgot. I gotta go down further.
Yeah, you gotta scroll.
If you hold your control button and shrink, the text size on your StreamYard screen, you can actually make the windows more manageable.
Yeah, control.
Just so everybody knows. And your mouse wheel, yeah. Just so you know.
Okay.
So, in an effort to curb viewership for the release of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, for perceived themes of toxic masculinity and misogynist tropes, feminist icon Anita Sarkeesian began the movie spoiling hashtag Han Solo dies 2 months before the film's release. So this here is a pattern of
Wow.
behavior for Sarkeesian.
Mhm.
This is Star Wars movies coming. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And shut the fuck up, because this is like the week of Anita Sarkeesian speaks. ASS for short, okay? This is now the week of ass, all right? And I have a theory. I have a theory. Now that this has happened a second time, see, I'm working some strange legal things in real life, and so I'm starting to notice patterns. And this pattern of this crazy woman, okay, has demonstrated to me that perhaps this meltdown they refer to from The Force Awakens, this perceived themes of toxic masculinity and misogynist tropes, we have to think back a couple of years, the height of the combat against the patriarchy. I think, and here's my theory, gentlemen, I think Anita Sarkeesian ruined Star Wars. I think Anita Sarkeesian got her consultation nose business into Kathleen Kennedy's ear, and I think we've been blaming Ryan for the wrong reasons. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck him.
She's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Unbelievable
Well,
point.
it's clearly she's not relevant in
Probably true.
2019, and she's trying to make herself relevant again. And she's tried twice now, and it didn't work.
Well, now it's transparent, gentlemen, and I've tried to share that. You know how they say, don't retweet your own tweets. I was like, you know what, man? Today, this is an important day. This woman needs to piss off. And so I was like, I'm going to retweet my own tweet. Screw it.
I retweet my own tweets all the time.
I do it. It's better than typing it up a second time if you can.
Yep. I think you might be onto something though. It really makes me kind of wonder about that.
There's a lot of that stuff going around though. I mean, and like you say, patterns. You're already starting to see that. There's more Kathleen Kennedy. Articles all of a sudden right before. And yeah, I mean, I understand Star Wars is coming out, so they're gonna gravitate towards that. But it's the tonality of these articles and stuff that they're still pushing. It's more female. We need more female. We need more female. And I think it's just gonna kill this.
See, I have another variation though, Chris. You see, like I said, I've had a busy day with the Sarkeesian bots. Okay, so like throw this one up here. This one here is my second variation. This one here was to help Mara earlier today. Patriarchy, holy fuck, lady. Do you know what year it is? We've moved past all that and we're into eating babies. You've been left behind by your radfem brethren and have been drowning in a pool of irrelevancy. Oh, look, a Star Wars movie. Look at me, look at me. And like I said, shut the fuck up. Right?
Oh, that's great.
I like that one.
Purity Sin had a great response to her too. Let's see if I can find that.
Yeah.
Shellback, stay in.
Someone did make it clear to her that the blacksmith is a female character in her little tweet stream, and she responded by saying, "Oh well, LOL, still though." It's like she acknowledged the fact that she was wrong, but still said, "Oh, but still what?" Like your whole complaint was there wasn't a female, and there clearly is, and someone corrected you on it, and you still you doubled down. Oh, but still, one
and it's
female.
not just. And you're right.
Come on.
Final.
Episode
You're right,
2.
Final. It's not just that the female at the Forge was a female. It's not just that. She's the clan matriarch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break here.
His armor.
Like, give me a break here. All Anita has to do between Kathleen Kennedy exploding my fucking brain today, telling us that she doesn't have any material, okay, and Anita Sarkeesian trying to ruin a movie, that's already been ruined. I don't understand what's happening today. So, sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how does Kathleen Kennedy think she can say this kind of thing? Well, I mean, she's not thinking, but clearly, and get away with it. Like, she doesn't think that's going to come around. Isn't there anyone who's like kind of, not censoring, but just, watching what she tweets out or interviews?
No.
I don't think
might not
the
want to
video. The video I did
I hope
today.
it too much.
The video I did today, I had a line in there where they asked her, "What do you think your future is with Lucasfilm?" And I don't know if I can go and find it. Anyway, long story short, she basically says, "Well, I don't know what the future is. I'm just grateful that George, left me with this legacy, and he felt that I was qualified to take the reins." And it's like what she's basically.
Can we ask him what he thinks now?
Yeah, clearly
I know
he was mistaken.
No, but here's the thing. I get the feeling from what she said. She knows she's on her way out. I really believe that if and I don't know anything about this movie. I will go see it. But if this movie tanks, this version of Star Wars tanks, everything that she has done except that she's been mostly involved with, except for Rogue One, which were completely different set of writers, completely different story over here. And then The Mandalorian, again, completely different set of people, completely different set of writers over here. Nothing that actually has to do with this line except for Solo. And Solo was a completely different thing, but that got screwed up because you had the change of, the people at the helm, and you had a lot of things going on there. But you'll have 3 movies for sure that tanked under her on what they thought by spending $4 billion was the golden goose. And that's on her squarely because she is in charge. And
also they're going to have one movie or one TV show that has done pretty successfully. It's been pretty successful so far. It's only been 2 episodes, and she hasn't really had anything to do with it. We all know it's Favreau and Filoni. So
countdown to them getting the keys.
Success is not.
Well, I wondered if they won't. I wondered if they weren't going to get the keys, and I mean, we can talk about that some other time. Let's go into.
I'd actually like to point something out.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Kathleen Kennedy. Well, you got others that are very similar to Kathleen Kennedy, like Elizabeth Banks.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming out and they're making basically kind of the same accusations that Disney made against males in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And she came out and blaming the males for not wanting to go see female action flicks.
Oh, because nobody went to go see the original remake or the Charlie's Angel one back in the 90s. Nobody went to go see that.
When can we feed these people some
No,
real
we're talking
woke
about this
Krispies?
new one in 2019. No one's gone to see that one. And the remakes they did earlier, people went to see those because those were somewhat entertaining. And, and
Well,
the
they
women
were pretty self-aware, and they were just campy action fun.
Mm-hmm.
right. And
They played the part
Yeah.
that it needed to be played. They weren't. It was campy, but it wasn't bad campy. I guess is
It,
what I
it,
would
it
say.
was self-aware, is what it was. They realized it for what it was.
but
And
this
when
one
they needed
here-
to be badass bitches, they were. End of story. They didn't. They weren't like playing this broody badass bitch throughout the whole thing.
It's like number one, if their story would have been good, and if they would have not been like the way they were, like trying to push a narrative and a point, people might actually want to go see it, but they don't want to go see tropes that include propaganda and signifying and stuff like that.
What I
it
thought
too
was
hard to
pretty-
get a good story.
What I thought was pretty funny about the whole thing is that it was very clear that earlier this year in the interview with Collider, she said this is a movie for women. And then a week before the movie comes out, who is she going to blame for its failure? Men.
Man,
But the thing is, that's again, all this stuff, all these
watched
tweets
that.
we're talking about.
except for her
It,
interview.
it comes down to the simple fact that Shellback's gone again. Oh well, no. It comes down to the simple fact is, and I've said this, and Mike's heard me say this. they don't read any of your tweets fully. They don't watch any of your videos fully. They can watch 5 seconds of it, and you could be like me. You know, I go like, "Hey, this is Chris, and you're watching the Real Review 3000," and they'll turn it off and be like, "You're a chauvinist, and everything you just said is wrong. It's because men are this and that and that and this." And they don't even know what I talked about. They don't even know what I said. That's the problem. They have to blame somebody, because if they don't blame somebody, it's all on them, and these people can't take responsibility.
Yeah.
Just admit you made a shitty movie.
Yeah. Well, she said she targeted the audience for 13 to 39-year-old women. Is what she said.
Yes.
So that was the target audience. There was not a lot of action in it. You know, apparently, I just did a video on this yesterday on a Yahoo article that criticizes the movie and the movie industry right now for being too woke. You know, and it used the word woke and pushing a feminist agenda that, you know, moviegoers don't want to see. And 13 and 30 to 39-year-old women aren't really the ones who are flocking to see Charlie's Angels.
No.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. Like, you can't blame men when you target the audience for women, and you know, it's then use men as like your scapegoat. Oh, it's their fault.
It's just
It's their
convenient, and like you said, not wanting to take responsibility for the failure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
fault.
and it's like when I hear about, you know, James Bond. As soon as I heard they were bringing somebody to help James Bond become Me Too, I'm like, you've just killed this movie. Because if you don't let him get the woman at the end, then you will not have an audience, because no woman watches James Bond to not take the woman. No man watches James Bond for him not to take the woman. They both want that, because the women imagine they are the woman and the men imagine they're him. That's the only way Bond goes. And I'm sorry if that's sexist. That's sexist. But that's how Bond is. It's how he is in the books. It's how he's always been in the movies. You know, and in the books, he's actually a sad and pathetic character. He's a drunk. He's a womanizer, and he's only doing it because it's the only way he can keep himself alive.
Yeah. Well, he's a pretty damaged individual.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing nobody understands. You know, you're taking away the main central reason why. I mean, and in this version of Bond with Daniel Craig is the closest to Bond. He's moody. He doesn't want to be where he's at. He doesn't like doing his job, but he keeps coming back because he knows it's what he's good at. And this is the best version of that we've seen. So, okay.
But as far as I recall, Bond hasn't always gotten the girl at the end of the movie with Daniel Craig. You know?
No.
well, I mean, they killed off Eva Green's character. So
Yeah.
They do and they don't.
died,
He
so
does and he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean,
it's, you know.
he does, but they kill her off. And
Yeah.
in the second
okay.
movie, he does.
Well,
Quantum of Solace I didn't see, and I didn't see Spectre either. So
I didn't
don't know.
mind Quantum of
He
Solace.
does in Spectre.
Spectre, I thought was really good, but I think the best one still is Skyfall. Skyfall
Skyfall
is
is
above
great.
and beyond
Skyfall
one of the
and
top
Casino
5.
Royale
It's like top
I
5.
agree.
I think Adele has something to do with that too, because when I heard Adele, I was like, okay, she's the new Shirley Bassey.
Yeah, that song
I'm like,
was,
give it to her from now on.
I
Okay.
totally
Huge
agree with that.
Daniel
He did a
Craig
great
fan.
job.
Well, it's not about, you know.
I like his older stuff better.
Okay, guys, let's get on topic here. Let's get on topic. Okay, Baby Yoda thingamajigger. How many people saw the Force coming? How many of you?
Yeah.
I think everybody.
I was
You
waiting.
don't introduce that without.
And the first thing, though,
Yeah.
you know, they didn't show it right away. They waited till, what, 3/4 of the way through
Yeah.
and showed it then. But you knew when it got out of the little egg thing by itself, it was like, it doesn't show how he does it. And you're like, or it does it. I'm not going to go and don't put a gender on it.
Don't
But-
misgender Yoda, baby.
Gender you did to
Whatever.
me. But when the Baby Yoda thing is reaching for him, I'm like, he's trying to heal him, or he's trying to do something.
Oh yeah,
And
that's what
I was
thought.
waiting. I was waiting for it. But what
Yeah,
I
Force
found weird, let's just go with this really quick. What I found weird is that here's this little innocent Baby Yoda thing, and he lifts this giant creature up, and it does affect him. I mean, I liked that part of it. I did like that it knocks it out. But
Mhm.
is this because it already knows that this is the only way for them to get wherever this? Because I guarantee you, this is not going to go where the Mandalorian's taking the baby where he wants. The baby is using him to get where he wants.
Exactly.
I think
And-
the baby's kind of faking being a baby.
I do
Yeah,
too.
do you think
I
the baby's
wanted
the
to-
baby? That's the question here.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention something. They've never really. There's been no dialogue. It's just.
there's cooing.
nonsense.
There's
a-
cooing.
There is that, but
But-
the species does make different noises.
And
there's a
remember,
lot of
when we first met
assumption.
Yoda was pretty damn annoying, and he was
Yes.
doing it on purpose. So
Oh, yeah.
we know that they have
In
the
part.
ability to deceive, but deceive for the right purposes. So I just found it funny that this shows this baby using the Force to lift the animal up, which, because he's got the Force about him, you got to know that he already knows that he's going to kill the thing. So he's helping aid in killing this thing because he knows it's a means to the end.
I mean, but he also knows that, like, if he doesn't, the thing is going to ram right through the Mandalorian.
No, it's going to kill them both.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, if he
maybe.
can do that, he could have stopped it. He could have waited till it killed the Mandalorian. So he's looking. That's why I say this creature is using the Mandalorian as a means to an end to get to where he wants to go, or it wants to go.
So here's the age thing. If he's 50 years old, right,
Mm-hmm.
and Yoda was 900, so say 900 is like the average lifespan. So to put it in our terms, 71 is an average lifespan. 71, 72 for male, female. So if you do like the math, like what's 50 out of 900, and then you take that in human terms, it would make the baby thing about 3.5 to 4 years old.
Mhm.
If you use that logic, then it would be about 3.5 to 4 years old. If you compare it to, in relation to human lifespan and like what 50 years out of 900 would mean, to like 71 years, it'd be about 3.5 to 4 years old. So I don't know, I'm thinking it is a baby. It does have like white hair though. If you notice, the hair is white and gray, and Yaddle's hair was dark. So you can't say that the whole species have white hair, unless it's some sort of, I don't know, maybe it's, the clone of some sorts of Yoda's DNA, or if it's, I don't know, because there's the whole cloning thing on Camino. The scientists had cloning.
I had said,
I'm not sure where they're going with this.
I had said that in the first roundtable we did, I had said that I'm wondering if the Empire remnant people are hoping to clone this thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
Because the doctor did have the Camino symbol.
And they also were almost emphatic about not having it dead.
Yeah,
They
they wanted it alive.
Yeah, I mean, the one was like, well, we prefer it be alive, but it doesn't have to be alive.
Although the IG-22 or IG-11, I think it was, that the orders were to kill it. So,
Yeah.
are they getting? What I think is it's two different people that were after this thing.
I
some
think
different hires.
that I said that the Bounty Guild and the Remnant people, I think they paid the leader of the Bounty Guild, and I have a feeling that when we meet the character that's supposed to be an old shock trooper, I have a feeling that that's going to be a separate guild or something that's a little more radical.
What's
Because
the other guild that assassinated people? The Sun something.
Yeah, but you see, the thing why I'm thinking that is because if they know what the Imperial remnants are going after, she used to be a rebel. And so she might think, if I can stop them from taking this thing and kill it, do whatever I have to, I can stop them from doing whatever they're going to do, because obviously it's the Empire's last gasp of trying. Now, I don't know. I and Mike will back me up here, and Bear and Final, I'm sure maybe Steven's told you I'm crazy when it comes to thoughts about Star Wars. I come up with crazy things, but I just thought of this. So we know that according to Disney's whole canon, Snoke came from the outer reaches, from
So,
you know
Unknown regions.
yeah,
Chris,
the
let
unknown
me
regions.
ask you:
Uh-huh.
Do you think it's one of the crime syndicates that's involved?
I think it's something like that.
Could be.
Because there are
could be.
6 of them.
Yeah.
Black Sun is the top
Black
of the
Sun.
list.
Thank you.
Black
Yeah.
Sun. Mm-hmm.
But here's my thought, this crazy, crazy thought. What if they do clone it, or what if they do something and get the blood, the whatever they're trying to get from it, and that's what makes Snoke who he is.
Also, don't forget that Darth Plagueis kind of ran the Black Sun
Mm-hmm.
syndicate.
I'm just thinking because I know that Disney has basically said that the remnants of the Empire went to the outer reaches, the unknown,
Yeah.
Unknown space. Yeah.
unknown space, and
Or it could
there
be-
they encountered Snoke, and
this
Snoke is the
could
one
be-
that took the remnants and made it into the First Order, and I think we've all agreed that we believe that's going to kind of be what they show in this.
Yeah, they're supposed to deal with the beginnings of the First Order. That
Yeah.
was said, I think, before the show came out.
Mhm.
So we do know they are going to be getting into some sort of origin. It could also be that they're trying to clone the Emperor or resurrect the Emperor as well. Maybe that ties into why he comes back in this movie. But
Spoiler
I think it was,
alert: they're stealing from the EU if they try that.
yes, because they did do that in the EU.
Yes.
And I would not be surprised if that is where they're going with it.
But
Well,
there's
have
no
you heard
source
this-
material, guys. There's no source material.
Oh my God!
Okay,
there's
did you
no
hear
source
the
Mixing it up
latest
as we
rumor
go.
though about how it wasn't the Emperor who died on the Death Star? It was a clone
Yes.
he was remoting.
Oh god.
Ah,
Yeah,
That's
that was,
how they're
that
gonna
was
do
the
it.
Doomcock. Doomcock's
Yeah.
his
Don't
audience,
talk about it.
the
I
screening.
can't hear about it. I can't. I gotta.
You
I
don't
gotta
want it
stay
funny, huh?
impartial about this. That's how I do these things.
But I say, my point is that
side, give it to your
during the Attack of the Clones, in Camino, that was all set up through Palpatine, right? So he knows, like, he was in control of the cloning facilities. I wouldn't be shocked if he had moved them at some point to Coruscant, during the,
Echo.
So I was hearing that echo.
Yeah, I know. Hold on.
You guys hearing that echo?
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Search
What?
your feelings.
Where are you? Get out of my head!
Hold on. I'll fix that. There. Better.
Play with the
It's
facts.
like a Snickers bar for audio. Okay, but
Okay, it's not gone.
Let's knock on for Chris.
no. Yeah, I know.
There we
I
go.
test. Yeah, there we go. Search your feelings. No, sorry. Okay. Anyways, I just kind of wonder, all this. I just know they're leading to the beginning of the First Order, and the First Order was created from the remnants of the Empire. So this creature's got to have something to do with that. And I've always wondered, how did Snoke get to the abilities that he has? Because he's not Force sensitive. He actually has command of the Force, or had, depending on if he's dead or alive. Who the hell knows? I mean, they could throw anything at us now. But obviously, this is the. I mean, it's the Maltese Falcon. That's what Baby Yoda is. It is what everybody's after. It is the prize. It is the
Yeah,
Holy
it's the
Grail.
MacGuffin.
It's a MacGuffin, yeah, and they all are going to go after this, and so I just find it really surprising that we've waited this long to get off of planet. Two episodes, or basically. There's really, because think about it. In this particular episode, there really wasn't a ton that happens. He brings it back. He gets to a ship. His ship's being pilfered by Jawas. Which, are we saying this is Tatooine? Because I seem to remember, and maybe one of you guys mentioned last time.
It's not Tatooine.
I know, but one of you guys mentioned last time. I do believe reading also that George Lucas said that Tatooine was the only place for Jawas, wasn't it?
Yeah, he allegedly. I don't. That's he allegedly had said that That they had not left Tatooine. Actually, Bear, you had some more information on that.
I think it was Shellback that was mentioning that it was like during our group chat, he mentioned that he was getting into with a few others about the whole thing with the Jawas. And
yeah, I did some research.
Okay.
Yeah, Bear did some research on that.
Yeah, I went back and I rewatched all the Jawa scenes, and while I was watching, I would pause and then go into Wikipedia and look up the Jawa section. And at right around the middle stages of the Empire, the Empire archaeologists had discovered some stone carvings that had glyphs or some kind of writing. One was on Corellia, one was on Coruscant. And they discovered that it was related to Jawas, the writing was. And it was also discovered that Sand people and Jawas are the same race. They just split. Some kind of cataclysm happened to Tatooine. It used to be a green, healthy, living, vegetable, jungle-like planet.
Right.
And some kind of phenomenon happened, an asteroid, a comet, something that basically almost burnt the atmosphere off and turned the whole planet into glass, and then that's where all that sand came from. It all broke into sand. And so Sand people and Jawas split and became two different sub-races of the same species.
That's interesting.
One grew taller than the other.
And when they discovered the glyphs on the Coruscant, the Jawa glyphs, or writing, on Corellia, they had a theory that the Jawas were spacefaring at one point.
So they would have gone beyond just Tatooine, or maybe they ended up on Tatooine.
Right.
Maybe they didn't start.
And there's a very good possibility that they may use that as an explanation, being that it's in Wikipedia.
Interesting.
Whatever
Well,
happened.
there's a lot of other stuff in the
planet,
EU too, which had the Jawas and as well as not necessarily the Tusken Raiders, but more specifically the Jawas being out in the galaxy.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't take away. Doesn't take away
No, I don't think
from
it does.
this. I mean, because honestly, Jawas are the best people to be scavengers and people that do this type of thing. So it plays into the hands of the storyline. But I mean, this kind of brings us up to that wonderful rifle with those nice nugget of buffalo bullet type. What the like? I mean, I think this plays really well into the Mandalorian folklore of no disintegration.
Yep.
And it's a great visual on why
Darth
people don't
Vader
want
said no disintegrations.
because I mean it hits. What's really funny is it doesn't disintegrate what they're wearing; it disintegrates what's in it. I mean, because it goes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and just like little
a
orange
molecule
glowy
disintegrator.
cinders were left.
Yeah,
Like,
and
ooh.
Yeah.
I love the line that I love the line is when they're going up, they really don't like you. Well, it might be because I disintegrated a few of them.
Yeah, that's good.
That was good.
You notice how the
He
Jawa
doesn't speak a lot, but when he speaks, it's impactful.
Yes, it is.
So he gets a little
With,
zinger like that.
the Jawas having red eyes, I could not find an explanation for that in the reading I did.
Everything I've kind of seen is that that's how they differentiate them, is that they're considered to be off-world Jawas. So that's the reason why they're wearing the black robes, and that's the reason why they have the red eyes. Because
Yellow eyes.
Oh, were there?
well,
robes
they're
darker
yellow
than
eyes
normal?
on Tatooine.
That's what I mean. No, that's what I'm saying. Yellow eyes, red eyes makes
Right.
sense.
There was also one thing I did read that said there's technology involved in the goggles that they wear.
Mm-hmm.
And they said the goggles is the reason why their eyes glow.
It says here, take a good hard look at a Jawa, a tattered, slouchy brown robe, worn out leather bandolier, glowing yellow eyes, and that's pretty much it. There's never been a canonical reveal of a Jawa's face, but there are a few theories. Some think Jawas may actually be a type of human that didn't quite evolve. Others hypothesize a possible rodent-like appearance. This could be due to the fact that George Lucas has originally created a prototype that resembled a rat, though it was scrapped and he felt it was too theatrical. The actual Jawa faces ended up being covered by black stocking masks and wired on eyeballs. I'm just reading 7 things you don't know about Jawas. Fun fact, the Jawas in A New Hope were portrayed by 12 local children, including a producer, Gary Kurt's daughter, Tiffany, as a Jawa Dacha. Which is so funny, they give these characters names and you never know. It's like they don't say their names on screen, so why do we care? And Jawa 1, Jawa 2, Jawa 3.
Well,
So let me ask you this. With seeing the Sandcrawler and the Jawas, do you think that this is actually a repurposed Boba Fett script that has been altered to become a series?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We touched
That
on
was
this a little bit last
like a year
time, is
ago.
that we were pretty sure that this was the leftovers or the pieces that were never completed for
Makes sense.
Boba Fett. Because
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Darth Vader was going to get a movie. Han Solo, which they did do. Obi-Wan. I even heard rumblings about a Qui-Gon movie. Boba Fett. And there was even rumblings about the Emperor and his move on Plagueis and all of that. What we heard in the
The prequels.
yeah.
There was
I mean-
also talk of a Yoda origin story from a
Yeah,
young
I
age.
remember-
It's interesting. We have a baby yodeling, So
yeah.
I think they're taking all these bits and pieces that were began from certain things and they're throwing it in. I mean,
it's like a smorgasbord.
Yeah.
How many of these movies did Lucas kind of toy around with? I mean, this is Lucas's baby. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he kind of thought, hey, we could do something for this, we could do something for that, but Disney, when they came up with that idea that we're going to come out with a new movie every year that's Star Wars based, they had tons of things they thought of, and their only problem was they screwed up by 1, throwing out the EU, and 2, not giving context to what we're seeing in The Last Jedi. And I'm not saying the context would fix what you see, but giving context in that situation.
Well, I agree with you, because that's like the biggest questions we had when we saw The Force Awakens was, what is the First Order and where did it come from?
Yeah. The first thing should have been is a movie like Rogue One. And actually, if Rogue One was in its working stages, I would have started with Rogue One. But I would have then gone and bookend the original trilogy with what happened to our main characters after Return of the Jedi. You could have done a 2.5 hour movie. You could have done a 2.5 hour movie and got us caught up. You could have.
Yeah. You would have given a reference. You would have framed the sequel trilogy so we would kind of know, like, why is Luke the way he is in, Last Jedi.
And I've said this a lot. George Lucas, in several commentaries that I have on the Blu-ray, on the DVDs, all of these different ones, he's always said in the original trilogy he didn't give context because you had to either go with it or not. If you didn't believe it, you weren't going to like it. It was over. You're done.
Well, I
but
think
those
he
people
gave enough, though. He gave enough to kind of give you an idea of what was going on.
As you went along, you learned as you watched the characters. He didn't actually give it to you. What you were seeing in the movie was how you learned what was going on. Okay, there's Darth Vader. Darth Vader's bad guy. This and that.
He started out in the middle of the story, because he had
Exactly.
kind of already written a prequel outline. So
you could already feel this is something that's been going on for a bit. But like he said, he didn't like context and he didn't like exposition. But what does he do? What did he do the second he made the prequels? He gave us context and exposition. Even though he doesn't like to do it, he gave it to us because he's like, okay, I know you guys aren't going to understand all of this because this is only barely touched on in the original trilogy. So he gave it to us all. And I mean, the Phantom Menace is absolutely 100% context and exposition. You do have a moving forward storyline, but there's context and exposition constantly. We get midichlorians, which I blame for Rey. I'm sorry. Rey is the reason Metachlorians answers the question for why she can do what she does. Metachlorians balance the Force within the universe.
But
And
that's-
if there's
the-
no
It's
other
sort of
way,
training
another
just because
answer.
you're strong
no,
in the Force.
I
Anakin was
understand that. I understand that, but what I'm saying is that's going to be the answer you're going to get right now. That's the only answer you can have, is that her abilities are being jump started by metachlorians, and the little bits and pieces of this is how you do this is how you do that. That's just all you're going to get for it. But that's me working out the context for something they didn't give me.
The only other thing they could say is that because I read a leak about this. This is a while ago, so I don't think they're going with this. But that she was created like Anakin was created, and she was trained, but because of Snoke and the threat she had, if she is related to a certain somebody, that she was her mind was, her memory was wiped, basically, using Force techniques that Yoda had done, or I guess had done, that, and then she doesn't remember. So she was trained, but she doesn't remember anything, and they left her off on this planet just to hide her, with a erased memory.
Yeah, well,
and now those memories are like the abilities are awakening because she had been trained before. But I don't know.
It just here's the fact. You can't go with a new trilogy that's the end of this saga without context and exposition, because you've got way too much time in between them.
Right.
And that's where Disney went wrong. If their grand ambitious plan of one movie a year would have been fine had they started and said, listen, we're going to do some stuff you guys aren't going to like. We're not going to use the EU except for where we want to. And we're going to give you your exposition first. We're going to show you why is Luke a moody, middle-aged man. Why is Han Solo off smuggling again? We're going to show you the breakdowns. We're going to show you where this is, and then you would have saw the beginnings of Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
Show us something that shows he was really going to be evil anyways, and that Luke honestly believed there was just no other way. And then even then, the Luke we know stopped himself and said, I just can't. There's got to be another way.
I don't buy that part, though, man. I mean, he saved Darth Vader.
I understand, but he stopped. He did stop. He didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, give us something that really makes Kylo Ren evil at that moment. So evil that he felt for 5.5 seconds, I got to stop this. And then thought, no, because he even had that moment in Return of the Jedi. When Darth Vader mentions his sister, he loses it for a second, and he does. Even then he gets to the point, he's banging on him, and cuts his hand off, and that's when he makes the connection. Oh crap! This is the cave. This is it right here, and that's where it makes sense. And he has that moment in The Last Jedi when they do the flashback. Now, I'm saying they didn't give that to us. Huh?
Okay, but
that was the moment that he decided, I'm not going to go down this path. I know where this leads. So to see him do it in Last Jedi, it's like
he started it again, but he remembers, no, there's another way.
But it was so brash,
I understand that, but like I said, this is me when I walk into a movie and I don't know what's going to happen. Like so many people knew so much of The Last Jedi. And I didn't. So when I walked in, first thing I have to do is I have to start making context for everything. I got to make it up. I've got to say, okay, I can see this could happen. This could happen. Am I right? No, I'm not right. Are you right? No, you're not right. Why? Because Disney never told us. That's the problem right there. Context and exposition.
Yep. You're 100% right, Chris.
I know, like, I'm a turtle. I'm low to the ground. You guys can't hardly see me, but can I say something? So here we go. The difference between Luke going up against Vader and then Luke contemplating killing his nephew. Okay. After he found out Darth Vader was his father, I'm sure even before he found out Vader was his father, he had heard of all the terrible things that Darth Vader did including killing younglings. Okay. With
No, because
Kylo-
that was all kept from him pretty much, except for
And
what
also-
was
I-
apparent.
also-
I know,
I don't
but
think a lot of people.
reputation
knew that Vader was
and
Anakin.
stuff get out there. Okay, people aren't, people galaxy wide were freaking shit their pants scared of Darth Vader.
Yep.
Okay, so some at least his exploits had to have gotten spread throughout the galaxy. Okay, the fact that he will like kill you in a heartbeat.
Well,
all
that
right?
was kind of the point of him being on
And-
Tatooine. On Tatooine, none of that made any difference. They were so far from those battles that when Luke, if you see the cut scenes from Star Wars,
Yeah, but he had
he
heard.
sees the battle up in the sky and he's freaking out. He's like, "Oh my God, look, it's right there!" And they're like, "No, that's not the Empire. The Empire doesn't care about us out here."
But he had
Yeah,
heard,
yeah, it was like a cutscene.
about all this stuff. He's like, about the rebellion against the Empire, So
Because he's heard about it, but he's only
Yeah.
heard these.
Well,
Imagine this.
Thing is,
It's what he's heard is Mother Goose stories
all right.
about the Empire and the rebellion.
thing is, all right. So, all right, fine. We'll go to when he was cranky old hermit, freaking Jake Skywalker, right? By that time, I'm sure he had found out all the terrible things that his father did, okay? And he could think back to where, like, wow, I could have killed him, but I didn't. So, like, oh, wait a minute, I had a bad dream. I had a bad dream about my nephew. I gotta kill that little,
Yeah, I
bastard.
think you took it to the
Now-
place I wanted it to go.
does not compute. But anywho,
Again, without context, you don't know.
How did we get here?
Just
that's
waiting
kind of
on
the
you.
Talk about getting
Context,
off
that's
the
the problem.
rails.
It's your fault. It's your fault because you weren't here.
Yeah.
Blame the turtle.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. We were talking about
You're a
Baby
white
Yoda, Baby Yoda, and the Force. And did you see that coming?
Me? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No.
You didn't.
I didn't see in the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone could see that there was going to be a baby, a being.
No, I
It
didn't
was
mean
going to
that.
be somebody on
Once
the
you
Force.
saw Baby
Him using
Yoda.
the Force.
I was surprised actually.
Okay, but I mean, as soon as it got out of the egg, I'm like, how did it get out of the egg? And that was my first tip off. Second tip off,
Right.
he's raising his arm up to the wound that the Mandalorian has. I'm like, this thing's trying to heal you, you idiot. Let him do it, or whatever the hell he's trying to do. He's trying to use the Force on you. Let him do it. And I mean, I saw it. I
don't know. I mean, you could say like, whether you saw it coming or not. At least I wasn't surprised by it. If I can say nothing else, I can say I wasn't surprised when that happened.
okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we talked about a little bit about the Jawas and your point about how you thought that they weren't able to go around. Bear had done some research, and on Wikipedia he found that on Corellia and where else did you say? Coruscant, that they had found glyphs of Jawa or Jawa glyphs.
Look at my notes. There are carvings.
Mm-hmm.
Carvings.
So it lends credence to at some point in time they may have been
Space
travelers, and therefore this just could be a different sect that has been there for however long.
Yeah,
And
I got no problem whatsoever.
Well, I don't either. They're the scavengers of the universe.
It's totally plausible for them to be like, hey, there's money to be made on this planet. Let's go there.
Yeah, but
and also, like, if they know how to take apart a spaceship, they probably know how to put it back together, and they probably know how to
Yeah.
fly it. You know, if they're
Mhm.
that
Most
good.
likely.
Oh, and
Well, everything that Jawas own or use is scavenged. Their
Mhm.
crawlers are scavenged parts. So
Yeah.
imagine that. That's a built crawler. They scavenged parts and built that crawler. Now it may have a blueprint.
actually, there was a mining consortium that
Yeah.
Mm.
and they left the crawlers behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was
Yeah,
there was some discussion as to, well, the inside's all small and cramped like that, but it's like you got to remember, in Star Wars there's species of every size.
Yeah. No, that's not hard to believe.
Yeah, no,
And
the
so
sand,
what it did was it helped the Jawas basically increase their size, their communities, and their
Mhm.
mobility.
yeah, the sand crawlers are basically mobile mining facilities.
It's pretty
Yeah.
much what I said.
So,
I wanted to break in here for a couple minutes,
Yeah.
if I could, gentlemen, because I have
Yeah.
to go in about 15 minutes.
okay.
But speaking of one of the topics that we had covered last time was music, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to share with everybody for the composer. His name is Ludwig Göransson or Göransson, I believe. In any case, I had a article that I was reading earlier that had a few quotes from him of where and how he found his inspiration to approach this project. And I just wanted to share a little piece of that before I left. To make this new Star Wars score, he said he bought a bunch of recorders, as in the woodwind instrument. And he also took an adventure to the woods to be with nature, meditate, and play these instruments. I wanted to get back to the nostalgic childhood memory I had watching Star Wars and the excitement of seeing these kinds of really amazing visuals with that music, that sound, like it's coming from other planets, Göransson said. And adding that he wanted to explore using organic instruments such as guitars and pianos in a way that audiences hadn't heard before. For any film composer, the grail of film music, because it's the most well-known music, period. And the way I approached it was to try something completely different. The loneliness of a single solo flute. The bass recorder became the sound of the Mandalorian. That's how I started.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted the core of the soul of it to be organic. Then I wanted to add a tech sound to it, and I wanted to add on a cinematic orchestra, which makes it feel like Star Wars. And it's because of this creative streak that Göransson, who's signed to the publishing unit of Jay-Z's entertainment venture Rock Nation, has become the talk of the town. And so the bass recorder is the sound of that flute that everybody refers to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first notes that he began to compose the music that everybody hears. So seems an interesting concept to an approach on a project. But
I think it's perfect. Like I said, for the way they're framing this, it's perfect for it. I think.
Well, it's, the show is supposed to have that, Western spaghetti Western vibe to it. And, if you go and watch a Fistful of Dollars or, a movie like that, it's basically the same, same feel to it. And I like the music.
I do too. I am surprised he doesn't mention Rocky as an influence, though, because I think Bear, you, Mike, and I, we figured that one out.
absolutely.
Oh,
Surprised
yes.
he doesn't mention that.
Well,
Definite
I believe this is a
Rocky,
piece. I believe this is
I
a
like
piece
it,
that was
yeah.
picked for before press, before the episodes actually ever aired. I think this was a pre-written, just a fluff piece kind of thing to come
Before
up
we
before.
just-
So now we get to see what they've said and watch a few episodes and see how everything progresses, and to see if there's any, reality to what they thought it might be. So, in any case, it seems interesting enough. It's just the ending song that drives me insane. And
Yeah, that
drama.
ending song is terrible. It is
Drama,
I don't
no,
necessarily have a
yeah,
problem
you
with it.
can't,
I don't know. I have to go back and actually, I watch it.
I like it too, honestly.
Yeah.
That really jumped out at me because I'll be honest with you, when I initially watched episode 1, I didn't really notice the music at all until we got to the end credits, and it was just
It's minimal.
oh, this is terrible.
It's minimal all the way through, but no.
So,
The show is slow paced. It has a lot of long shots and silence. There's a lot of long shots of him alone and silence. You know, it's his kind of loneliness. I think that you're
But
seeing.
that's
It's setting
exactly
the tone
it.
for the character.
He's a
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I actually like that. I'm okay with it. Yeah. But
He
I know that some
is-
people have problems. But I like it.
He's a remnant. He is a loner. That's how he is. And I think what it does is it focuses and singles him out at the same time, though he's not alone. Uh he's got the guy that's on the planet, which I guess he's left now. So the way I read it is this guy's going to come back, and then the baby. He's got the baby. He's not alone, but he is. And I think what they're playing on here is he's already got this inner turmoil with him that he's worried about what he's going to do. He's going to get paid, and he wants that armor, but
It's a morality struggle for him.
exactly because it's
Yeah.
this.
Mandos
It's
don't
that
kill children.
exactly, and he's afraid when he hands the thing over, what's going to happen.
His people
Right.
come after him.
I mean, well, because we already know that he feels a strong connection to his race because
It's actually part of their code.
Well,
yeah,
this kind of talk has just sparked a little.
They're very proud people.
Here's a future possibility. You know, we all know he's going to abduct the baby and prevent it from being harmed. He creates two antagonistic forces against himself, his own clan, because he's humiliated them by not fulfilling a contract properly that was agreed upon, and also those that he owes money to. So I think that everything's going to now. This is the problem that I had when I talked about The Force Awakens about television plot twists being used in Star Wars. I can hear all of my brothers right now talking and analyzing these episodes as if it's a Star Wars movie. And I'm telling you, gentlemen, I'm impressed with it so far. But listen, they're going to Game of Thrones the shit out of it. And it's going to make me turn it off by season 3. And that's what I'm afraid of. Okay.
well, that's also
I'm kind of afraid of the same thing.
well, I'm always afraid of that with any TV series because here's the problem. Think of all these things, the X-Files, and I mean, I love the X-Files. I still love it. I've watched the new ones; they weren't bad, but you can't when you've got such a lofty goal as your endpoint. It's hard to get there. I mean, look at how X-Files ended their last season before they did the two newer ones. Is they basically brought it up to where they brought Mulder up on a trial to prove this is all fake, and he's done all these horrible things to prove it, and it's all from a crazy man and whatnot. That's the best they could do to end it up. Why? Because by that time, Gillian Anderson was done. David Duchovny was done. I mean, that's what happens. So what their best bet here is and if they did this right, it's a 3-season thing and it's going to be done. They know the beginning, they know the end, they've already mapped out the basics. Now all that matters is the little twists, the little moves,
Have they specifically said it's going to be 3 seasons?
No, but I'm saying if they're smart, they've decided this and they
Okay.
already know where they're going. They just have to write the scripts and shoot them. Because you cannot keep a show like this interesting and relevant for 5 seasons. You just
No,
can't.
I would agree with you.
Look at what happened to Lost.
it depends. I mean,
Anytime you do
look what
this, your endpoint's going to be
This isn't
horrid
Jade.
if you keep going.
But this, Filoni's really good about expanding things and tying things back together from previous shows he's done. He tied a lot in from Rebels or from Clone Wars into Rebels.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's going to tie some stuff into this show too. And Clone Wars lasted. It's on like 8. They're bringing back the 8th season now.
7.
Yeah.
Seven. Yeah, seven.
Was it
Rebels
7?
was a
Okay.
limited run, but that.
But
was
the
gonna be a
thing
limited
is
run because it only.
But there's
I think it was
multiple
7. I think-
characters, multiple storylines. You're dealing with one person, one storyline. Whatever
Right.
happens with
We
this
haven't met
baby,
so far.
it's the Mandalorian. It is
Yeah.
already decided who your character is. Whatever characters come into play are only there because of him.
Yeah, it's in the bloody title. It's the Mandalorian.
You're right.
And I mean, so it's 3 seasons. Do it in 3 seasons, and all you're just admit without saying it, because Disney never admits, but just make it clear to us by the end of this. If you do it in 3 seasons, you're going to make it clear that you've taken the Boba Fett movie and you've serialized it. And
No, yeah,
that's what you did.
they definitely-
You had the outline from beginning to end, and all we're doing is adding a few little plot twists and plot points into this that weren't in the movie because we didn't really have much. And we had the beginning, we had the end, we changed the main character, and here you go. We have the Mandalorian, 3 seasons, we're done. And for Disney Plus and a streaming service, that would be perfect. Because
I agree. Yeah, I think 3 seasons would be all that they need, if that. I mean, I think Obi-Wan's only going to be one. I think.
I am still so sick to my stomach that they're not going to make Obi-Wan a movie. There's just nothing I want to see serialized about it. Give it to me in 2 hours and make me
that's
happy.
the story. I feel like how do you string that along for eight episodes? I don't know. I guess they're going 8 episodes again.
I guess right now the way this is the test. This is the test. If they continue, if they run this into the ground, then they still don't understand Star Wars. Right now, it makes me feel like they understand a little bit about us. It actually makes me feel like somebody's listening. But then again, it's Filoni, and Filoni listens. Filoni's part. See, Filoni has a plus to this, and Kathleen Kennedy should have had this plus. And I'm not going to defend her. I'm just saying Kathleen Kennedy had the same plus that he had. They have been involved in both the Lucas and Disney versions of this. They understand, well, Filoni for sure understands Star Wars. Kennedy should have understood it, but she didn't. All she saw was and I've said it before with Me Too and a bunch of these other movements. What happens is you get the wrong person taking that movement and they take it and use it for their own purposes. That's what she did. She saw, Star Wars. It's a vehicle for me to feminize everything about it.
Yep.
Filoni looks at it and says, I see a universe of people who interact without talking about their gender, without talking about their different races.
Yeah, he wants to tell a story rather than make it political. Yeah,
he doesn't care. Just because there's what was that?
I'm gonna have to jump out
Okay.
here. Have another
appointment.
So I appreciate the time tonight, and we will see you again next week after we check out what's happened with the next episode.
Yeah, we're going to be on, just so everybody knows really quick, we're going to move this to Sundays, try to move it a little closer to the drop. I believe we're going to do 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday nights from now on, so we're closer to the actual drop of the new episode. So we will get back with you for sure about that, but that is the plan.
You guys have a great night. Thanks for everybody that came to watch.
So,
hail the
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does
Well,
indeed.
this morning
Hey,
or
man.
tomorrow morning or whatever.
Take care,
Mike.
Mike. It's good talking.
Yeah.
Take care, you hoser.
But
Yeah, well, it's going to be like midnight, you think? It'll probably be released around midnight.
yeah, I think it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it usually is. Yeah, I mean, any time after midnight, you can probably click on there, and episode 3 will be on there.
Yeah. I'll have to be watching that then tonight.
Oh yeah, you know it.
But let's see here, 12 a.m. Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern. So for me, 2 a.m. So of course you Pacific people get it early.
I guess that means
Yeah.
it's one
Early.
thing.
But
I don't know.
if they do this right, you see, I would love to see Filoni in charge of Disney Lucasfilm.
Filoni for president. Hashtag Filoni for
I would
president.
love to see him because so far, even his flub ups, even his mess ups in Rebels and in Clone Wars and stuff, they're forgivable because there's almost an artistic freedom that he's using for it. It's like we can forgive Lucas for a lot of the flub ups he did because it's his. It was his. You know what? He's going to explain it however he explains it. But Filoni, at least when he does it, it's not like a blatant reason why he's doing it. He's not doing it to serve an agenda. He's doing it for a thematic effect.
Yeah, he's doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
He makes change. He can make changes. Like, you know, one of the main things that I get from like the EU guys is like, oh, he cucked the Mandalorians. He cucked the Mandalorians and stuff. I personally, in Clone Wars, you know, in Clone Wars and Rebels, you know, whenever the times where you had Mandalorians, you know, I liked it. I didn't mind it at all, because, you know, having, you know, because the Mandalorians are basically supposed to be like, you know, basically the military culture of the Star Wars galaxy, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and being a
Yeah.
military veteran, you know, it's like I could appreciate the whole Duchess Satine and the, you know, like the more pacifistic ones or whatever, because I mean, I don't care. Even the most hardcore gung ho freaking soldier, sailor, or marine uh, enjoys a little downtime. You know, if you know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I
And
liked
Obi-Wan did. So,
Yeah.
I like seeing a different aspect, you know, of them other than, you know, being, you know, on the warpath. You
Yeah.
know.
I didn't hate what Filoni did. I did feel that they got overused quite a bit. Because like before that there was the explanation. The Mandalorians were always rumored to be like the galaxy's mercenaries. This is what they were supposed to be. And I think he did kind of ruin it a little bit. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not super
Yeah, but
like annoyed
Well,
by it. I think there should have been
it's
a little
like-
bit more mystery to the Mandalorians, but he just kind of explained everything. And
Well-
by the way, I love the whole Duchess Satine and romance angle they took with Obi-Wan. I thought that was really well done.
Mm-hmm. I think
that was the
though
perfect opportunity for the sequel trilogy to tie in Rey to Obi-Wan, the granddaughter or something.
Well,
They
yeah.
could have
Could've.
said, you know, him and Satine had a baby, and this baby was the, you know, mother of Rey. I mean, that, but
You
they
could've.
didn't do that because there's no source material to use.
Yeah.
Well,
Make it
you
up as
see,
yeah, right.
the twins from the EU of Han and Leia, that's where I thought they were going with this the whole time.
Yeah, well, they could have used that too, but again,
I
there's
know.
no source material.
But okay, let's go back to the Mandalorians though. Here,
That is hilarious. I'm sorry. Hold on, real quick. I damn near fell out of my chair when I saw that. You know, like this video and that video on YouTube, and this tweet and that tweet. You know, Kathleen Kennedy. There's no source material. Wait a minute.
Oh God,
Hold on. Wait a minute. In fact, that was like part of my comment on Drunk 3PO's video. Was you know, I'm like, actually no, it wasn't a comment. It was during one of his live streams. He was doing a live stream with Abu Nas and talking about it. And so I sent him a $5. Actually, no, because I typed too much, and so I had to give him $10. So it was a $10 super chat, and I said, "Here, give this money to Kathleen Kennedy. Tell her to go down to her local used bookstore and buy a couple of EU books. Source material problem solved."
Oh, but she said it was a downright lie, though. I mean, she knew. She was in that interview with George Lucas where he was talking about all that
yeah,
stuff.
you see, but that's the thing. She's trying to save her job, and actually, what she's doing is she's axing herself even more.
Oh, yeah.
And
How could you say that and not expect to get called out by the fans?
well, because she thinks that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. She doesn't pay attention to the true fans. She pays attention to the new fans who come up and think she's a goddess.
Yeah.
And that they're going to listen to her and guarantee you, we have yet to see it, but you're going to see plenty of Twitter threads where those people, the SJWs and all the people that are all the proponents of the new trilogy, are going to jump on the OT and the prequel fans and say, "Oh, but you're just being hard on her. She has no source material," and that will start the argument because they're going to believe her outright. They're going to be like, "Oh, well, the EU was never intended to be part of the movie universe." Yes, it was. It was based. The first freaking book, Splinter from the Mind's Eye, was supposed to be a carryover. The 3 years in between Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. That was Lucas's idea.
Was it actually supposed to be a carryover? I thought it was supposed to be the direct sequel because they weren't expecting there to be another movie.
Lucas did originally intend it to be that way, but when they saw the success of Star Wars, they basically moved to make it tie in. If I remember right, it does move towards The Empire Strikes Back. It's been so many years since I've read it, but the thing is you have these themes that come in and out with the books. You get the backstory of Han Solo, all of this stuff. It was all tied into the movies, except for after the Return of the Jedi, it expanded it. But it all tied off of things that came from the movies, because the movies were what was first. This isn't like Harry Potter. Harry Potter, the books came first, so everything that was in the movies came from the books. Everything that was in the books came from the movies. Mm-hmm. And so when you get this argument, and I guarantee that's going to be the argument, well, the EU was never intended to be made for the movies. Yes, it was. It was because of the movies that the EU exists. And it expanded, it basically took all these universes and all these planets and gave it to us, because we only hear about it, especially in the original trilogy. You never see much. You're just told about it. And that was the reason for the prequel, but it all came from those movies and George's mind. And they hired different writers. A lot of these writers sat down personally with George to get their ideas. I mean, he was really intent on keeping it as tight knit as possible. So, but but they're gonna make this. It's gonna be a divide again, because that's Kathleen Kennedy's defense. I mean, she's gonna hope that this keeps her in her job, and I just can't see how it's going to. So, well,
especially when she's not really the one calling the shots,
Well, no, but
they're quite aware that it's
Chris,
Filoni and Favreau that people are praising.
Well, for this, definitely. Her name's just on it because she's in charge, she's in charge of that. Yeah. That's the only reason why her name's on it. I guarantee you that. Well, put it this way: I've read something that said that George Lucas came on the set. I guarantee you, Kennedy was nowhere around.
That would have been funny to watch. Because someone should have filmed that if it happened.
Because I honestly believe that George. You see, I still believe George Lucas was fully and wholeheartedly done with Star Wars. He'd spent his whole life on this. He was trying to find something else. He's moved on to this living history museum.
Well, no, that's not 100% true, though. Because he did he was working on right before he sold it. He was working on the live action show. He was going to do an Underworld show. He had started working on it. So he wasn't totally done with Star Wars.
No, I think what he was doing is, I think what happened is we got into the Sony Disney type thing. George Lucas realized the daunting task of making another trilogy. He wanted to finish up this art piece that he had. And what happened is he's like, how do I do this? How do I expand this? And he probably in some way inadvertently got hooked up with somebody at Disney. And Disney's like, well, hey, we can come in, we can help you. It'll help speed up your effects stuff, because we work in the same thing with CGI and stuff. You do too. It'll help speed up if we split this between our two studios. And as time went on, they probably thought, hey, let's see what we can do. Hey, we'd like a percentage of this. And he probably thought, oh, you know what, guys, fine. You know what, give me $4 billion, I'll give it to you. And they're like, okay. And he's like, okay, and did it. I honestly believe that's just, I don't necessarily buy that they swindled him out of this.
Really, he'd been talking with Iger.
I just don't buy that Iger swindled him out of this.
$6 billion. What did he get $4 billion out of it?
$4 billion, and then you know what he did? He turned right back around and donated it.
Yeah,
he donated it to charity. So you know what that tells me? That tells me,
money.
No, not just that. 1, he sold his baby. 2, he took the money that he sold his baby, or got for selling his baby, and threw it to somebody else. What does that say? That's done. That's a person saying, I'm done. In no short words.
He's leaving all his stuff to charity. He's leaving. It's like in his will, he's leaving everything to charity.
Well, he's got a daughter. He's got a daughter. I mean,
he's got a daughter. Chris, I agree with you. I think
$2 and a son.
You're breaking up, Final.
Yeah, I just
Oh, I
think
am?
that he a little bit here and there. I just think that I think he came down to it. He started getting revved up for for this third trilogy, and he just kind of looked at it and go like, "My God, again, I'm going to go through this," because he would have done it in another 6.5, 7 years, whatever it would have been. He would have done 3 years in between each one again, guaranteed. That's his formula. He didn't change it for the prequels. He wouldn't change it for the new trilogy, and somehow he got hooked up with Disney. Disney saw their way in. Like they're gonna get. I'm sorry. I still believe they're gonna get Spider-Man. I still think that this is all Sony showing Disney all the things they can do with Spider-Man, and eventually they're just gonna sell it to him because it's the only thing that they've got that they're gonna make any real bank off of.
I think
Sony would be insane
what
to
happened
sell.
is that the prequel trilogy is what broke Lucas. I think it's the reason why he wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So I think you're completely right about the whole thing with. I never really thought about him donating the money to charity as I'm done with this. I don't even want the money that comes from it. It's not that he needs it or anything, but that actually makes a lot of sense. And then I think that leaving it in the hands of Kennedy, he's like, okay, it's in good hands.
I believe he thought that.
Yeah,
but I don't
I
think
agree.
he
I
was
think you're
swindled.
right.
I don't think he was swindled. I know that all these articles out there. I know people have done videos about how Iger, that he handed all this stuff over. Of course, he handed it all over his ideas. He thought maybe they were going to use it. But you know what? I am not absolutely. Here's the thing. I don't think there's anything that George Lucas would have signed saying I won't say a word about it one way or another. No. I guarantee you right now, if Lucas was absolutely rolling over every night, just disgusted by what they did with his
think you're
baby,
right. Yeah.
he would have said something, and he hasn't. You know why? Because he's like, yeah, I don't like it.
Well, he
I mean,
did.
he's
He
made
did say
reference.
something.
He's made references, but it's not like he's out there shouting to the heavens, "Oh my God, you guys are just ridiculous." He just says, "I don't like it."
You think there might be maybe some sort of contractual obligation?
I don't think he would have
for him
signed. I don't think he would have signed it. This is a guy who fought. Think about this.
He fought the studios.
He fought
Oh,
studios.
yeah.
He paid people's fines when he refused to put credits at the beginning of his movies. He didn't let Steven Spielberg direct because he didn't want Spielberg to be kicked out of the guild. He did all these things. He fought for his toy lines to have all the merchandising rights. He fought for all of this stuff. And this person who
I don't
fought
think
for all that
he
stuff,
fought for the merchandising rights. He
No,
made
he did.
sure.
No.
'Cause I thought the whole thing was like, you guys get this, but I get the merchandising, and that was the deal. I
no,
don't think there was.
they wanted to do that, and he's like, no, I get everything. I'm in charge of this. It's my movie. He paid out of his own pocket at times to make these movies, and when
Yeah.
he couldn't, he looked for the people who would do it but not take anything from him. They just basically said, we get our money back when the movie makes it, and after that we're out. That's how he fought for this thing. He never looked to give anything of it to anybody. So when he finally did, this guy who fought for this series, if he really absolutely was disgusted with this, that man, if he still truly cared, would have said something.
I don't think he cares. Probably.
I don't think he does. That's what I'm saying. And all these people are making this reference that, oh, they swindled Lucas. No, Lucas was
Yeah.
done.
I think he's done.
He was done.
I don't exactly agree with that.
He might have been
Here's the thing.
done.
I think he was done when he sold it. That doesn't mean he's gonna be not angry about stuff because he did call Disney a bunch of white slavers. I
Yeah.
mean, that was his criticism about Disney that he had.
Yeah. But
I don't necessarily agree with the premise. I think it's not a lot of YouTubers or commentators that are saying Lucas was swindled. I think what they were saying is Iger swindled him.
that's what I mean. That's Disney.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't think Iger did. I don't think he did. I think Iger looked to do again what they were doing with Sony. I just want a piece of this. I want a portion. I want to play with it. I want to play with the toy. And when I'm done, or if I don't get what I want, or if I'm not liking where it's going, I can just walk away. And in some point of that, a conversation broke out where money started getting talked about, but not money to get a percentage of. It was all or nothing. And I think that Lucas very well could have been just as simple as, well, come on, George. I mean, hey, I'll give you $4 billion just if you just give it to me. And he's like, fine, done. I just
Do you
don't
think he
see
gets
a
royalties?
man. Boy, that's a good
I think
one.
it's royalties if they use his character. He
Yeah,
does
the
get
original.
royalties if they use his characters that he
Well,
created.
it still
They do.
says based on characters by George Lucas, and it will forever say that because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the creatures, it's the races, it's the planets, it's the ships. This is all George Lucas. They cannot do Star Wars without George Lucas. The name itself, I think he gets royalties on.
Yeah. Also,
I
like
think he still gets royalties.
that's part of the reason that we might be getting the Mandalorian movie instead of a Boba Fett movie, because they didn't want to have to pay Lucas like 20, I think it was 20 or 25% for using the Boba Fett character.
Yeah.
So, they changed it. Now they are paying for the Obi-Wan character because, that's also Lucas. So they are paying for that, but so I don't know if the Obi-Wan thing came just because, look, we don't want to pay Lucas for Boba Fett so we can make another Mandalorian character, but we know the demand is so high for Obi-Wan and Ewan McGregor specifically that, they were willing to pay to bring him back, but they figured, well, Mandalorian, I mean, we don't need an actor. Boba Fett's pretty much, in the mask the whole time. We can change the character and get anyone and save ourselves 25%.
Well, let's loop this back around because that's the question I was going to bring you guys. Go ahead.
Audio Melon. Okay, so somebody can be done because they're burnt out, but just because you're burnt out and you see somebody basically vandalizing the baby you created doesn't mean it doesn't piss you off.
I'll give you a good point. Think about kids who do all the wrong things. They get locked up in jail and they do drug. Oh well, who is it? Michael Douglas's son. They just did a thing on an interview with his son, and he just got out of jail like a few years ago. But he was heavy into drugs. He's gotten off of them, and they had Michael and him there talking to him, and they asked Michael, "Did you think he was going to come out of this alive?" And he said, "No." That just because you are done with the person and what they're doing, for instance, if you had a son that was doing everything wrong, doing drugs, and you had to kick him out of your house, and you said, "I'm done with you, I'm done," that doesn't mean you don't love the kid.
Yeah.
It just means you can't deal with this anymore, and you're done with it. You're washing your hands of it, and if it comes out okay at the end, come back, I love you, great. But if it
have
doesn't,
any of you guys watched The People versus George Lucas?
once, I think.
Oh, I think I have seen that once as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is a brutal movie. I mean,
You see,
George Lucas had a whole documentary about him fucking up Star Wars.
Well, yeah, but he's Hollywood. I just said that.
Yeah, he's
He's a
Hollywood.
hypocrite. I'm sorry. George Lucas isn't necessarily a likable person. I know the actors liked him. I know that, but I've heard a lot of dickish stories about the guy. He's a snob. He walks around. I mean, I've heard people just have bad run-ins with him. I mean, I like the guy just because of what he's done. I don't know the guy, so I mean, I can't speak to it one way or another. But he's still Hollywood. I mean, they're all sniveling people over there that just because he's done with it doesn't mean that he's not going to say something. Plus, he just doesn't like Disney. Let's just be honest. Just because he sold to Disney doesn't mean he has to like Disney.
Yeah, true.
Just because you sell sorry, I was just going to say, just because you sell your Corvette to a guy doesn't mean you have to like the guy.
It doesn't mean you want to see get smashed on the side of the road.
Exactly.
either.
I mean, that's it.
If
Just
you're willing to give me $4 billion for it, you're going to take it.
yeah.
I think the fact that he was working on a TV show, though, a live action TV show, and he had Clone Wars, I think that shows that he wasn't completely done. I just think, from what I heard, him and Bob Iger had gotten together for a lunch, and Iger, I think, already had his mind on Star Wars, and said, so, George, how you doing? What are you thinking of in this phase of your life, this stage of your life? And he kind of, persuaded him, said, well, if you're ever interested in selling, we are very interested in buying. And I think he just kind of talked him into like, well, $4 billion, why not? I mean, I've gotten a lot of grief from the prequels. Clone Wars has gone over pretty well, but it was kind of a rough start to begin with because the movie didn't do that well.
No,
and
the movie was horrible.
on live TV, yeah, the movie.
That movie. I like that movie.
I love the show. I love it, but I'm not a fan of the movie. It's okay, whatever. But I think that's what happened. I think he got a good deal. I don't think he was totally done because he was still actively working on, you know, he had just finished Clone Wars. He was working on a live action show. I just think Iger said, "Hey, we'll give you $4 billion," and you know, sure, why not? That could
I think we don't know because we don't know how much he was doing that. I don't know how much he was fully involved in Clone Wars anymore. I mean, I know it was his idea. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever have a true answer of what's going on. But finally, you said something that I was going to ask about this one. Are we going to, in this series, in this run, are we going to see the Mandalorian's helmet off?
Well, I mean, I think why do you hire, you know, Pascal if you're not going to show him? Because that's a lot of money for his voice. I mean, they could do that, you know, animated spends, but they usually get a voice actor. They don't really get like a top celebrity unless it's like, you know, they got Qui-Gon or they got Liam Neeson for Qui-Gon, you know, because obviously that's already. But yeah, I mean, why are you going to pay an actor that much money just to be under the mask the whole time?
They got him for his physical prowess too, because you know, I mean,
yeah, but I mean, they can get a.
he was Prince Oberyn, you know, so I mean,
he has a certain set of skills.
Yeah. So I think at some point we will see the mask come off, just because I don't know why you would hire, you know, that actor and pay him that much if you're never going to take the mask off. It just doesn't make sense to spend that money. So and there is that you know, that one clip from the first trailer where it shows the girl, you know, that who's like kind of going to his helmet to take it off. I don't know if that's it. You know, you might not see it, but I just think I hired that actor. It doesn't make sense to pay that much money. So that's why I'm saying I think there's a good chance.
What's the name of the shock trooper? Shellback?
you mean Gina Carano's character?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Cara Dune.
Okay, so my thought process here is that her and him probably have something that we don't know about yet. Like they had something together or something like that, and that's going to be a storyline. I don't know.
No, I think it's going to be mainly professional between them.
Maybe. I
get that vibe.
Yeah, but okay. Let's finish up here, but let's get on this.
I just saw Drunk 3PO just text, Shellback is having a conversation on Twitter and ignoring the stream. Shell? Have you been ignoring this whole... Wonder why you're so silent.
Damn it, 3PO. Jay?
No. That's why the camera's...
It's the droid and the turtle. They're going to fight to the death.
Come on. Freaking throwing me under the bus for talking to people on the.
But that's what your shell's for, so you could be thrown under the bus.
I was multitasking. I was talking to some of the people in his Patreon chat, you know, thing that he made up for us. So,
oh, how nice!
I see how you are now, Goldenrod.
Okay, so
Mr. Pete said you think he thinks it's going to be a woman. I don't know. I think based on what we've seen from the body, it's not going to be a woman. But
no.
I mean,
oh my god, if they do that
who knows?
Then even more to the point, why do you hire Pedro Pascal? Why would you hire him and say he's the Mandalorian
and show him? Yeah, you don't hire him for the voice. I mean, they could have gotten anyone to do a voice like that. I think they're going to take it off.
I mean,
hey, Drunk, how you doing?
Top notch of an actor. I mean, he's been in some stuff, but he's not like some A-list actor though.
But he's big enough that they would have to pay him a good amount of money to be a character you're never going to see. Yeah. You know, it doesn't make much sense.
The two biggest things he's
unless
been
they take
in, Narcos and Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Okay, so we see.
But that's, I mean, those are recent movies, so he can start the show. So, what?
Yeah. So we see his ship get pilfered. He gets his ship back, and they take off from the planet. Where does this go from here? He's obviously going to have more pitfalls because he's going to have something's going to make him realize that there's more than just the Empire remnants and the guild. His guild after this, because I've already noticed that the when Carl Weathers' character tells him about the bounty, he's already looking at him like, yeah, I'll send you but it's like he
Just wanna-
already knows what this bounty is because he's probably already sent people after it.
Probably.
Yeah.
And so he already knows what's there, and he knows what the Mandalorian's creed is about children, and he's probably sitting there going like, yeah, once you get there, what are you gonna do, and what am I gonna have to deal with? Because he's already thinking of something up here. You see it in his eyes are kind of shifty during that scene, but we already know that he's already torn just by the way he's acting. He's already torn about bringing the Baby Yoda back.
Yeah, there's definitely that kind of. I think he sees himself in Baby Yoda or Yoda Baby because they're both orphans, so there's that instant kind of bond, I guess you could say. That
No
they have.
3PO. I don't want a spoil. You can tell them in a DM to everybody else. I don't want it though. I'm always
He's the secret
just-
Skywalker. That's the spoiler.
I want to know how Drunk 3PO
That's
got
what
a
I
spoiler.
think- That's what I think Drunk is gonna say.
But
Skywalker.
I just foresee that when he leaves, something else is going to happen. He's going to get attacked or something because people know he has it. Because what did the
Well, we know there's other people after him, right?
Mhm.
Or after the
well,
youngling
I mean,
thing.
well,
So
why else
there are
are
other
they?
people after.
Those other mercenaries that were there aren't staying on that planet just to protect the thing. They
Right.
were probably there because we found it. We're waiting to be picked up. That's what I think.
They're waiting for someone.
he
I
just
think,
But it seems like they've been there for a while because the whole thing
Well, we
with
don't know
Phil
how
was
long it would
complaining
take
about.
for someone to-
He's complaining about mercenaries. He said,
Yeah.
ever since that
Yeah.
baby's been here, it's been nothing but trouble, and you're not the first person coming looking for him. So,
Yep.
in other words, it gives the idea that there's been many different groups of people coming, and this just happens to be one of the more recent ones, I think. That's what I hear. Is that it just, until that, whatever it is, leaves, I'm not going to have peace because everybody comes in, and one group comes in, kills the next group, realize what it is, says, hey, I found something, and come and get us, or do this or do that or whatever, and I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm normally wrong. I mean, ask anybody who knows
I think
me.
something's going to happen during the exchange, which is going to cause him to, keep the kid.
I don't know. I don't even know if you're going to get that far. I mean, I'll be surprised if they go directly back to where he goes directly back to hand off the baby. Although the armor, the Beskar, right?
Beskar.
Beskar,
Yeah,
thank you,
Beskar.
Beskar. The Beskar, it's obviously more than okay. So I've always known that the Beskar is their armor, and it protects against laser or against blasters. It can take glancing blows from lightsabers, but
Yeah.
I think we get more to the point here where we see that Beskar is actually more important to the Mandalorians in a way that it's a part of their guild. It's a part of their community. It means something because she said this will go back to the I forget her exact
The
words.
foundlings.
Yeah, the foundling. So
Well,
so
they
there's
also use it
something-
for currency.
So they might go right back for him to do that because he may have a strong enough attachment to this metal that he's like, I have to go. What's going on, Fox?
What's up, Fox?
Star, how you doing? Good to see you guys out here today.
Oh, what's up?
But I'm under the impression though that they're going to hitch him up someplace else. I have a feeling he's going to get off this planet. He's going to be going, and one of these other factions, Black Sun, one of these guys, one of these groups is going to stop him or hinder his ability to go drop off the thing, because something tells me that this Empire Remnant has given this task to many different people, and they've given it to the best of those people in hopes that no matter what happens, that they'll get what they're after.
I think he could run into this problem, but I think he's going to make it back to the planet. I think he's going to make it back to the guild,
Yeah,
and there's
I
going to
think
be
so
a
too.
moment where he has to turn the baby in, right? But he decides, he gets a whiff of what's going on, that they want to kill it, that they want to clone it. There's going to be something that tips him off, and then he's going to take action, and then that's really when he's going to turn the remnants of the Empire against him, possibly also the bounty hunter guild, depending. And then that's when Gina Cardano comes in, as some sort of help for him. But I think he's going to make it back to that plan. I think there's going to be that moment where he's got the baby. He's going to still go ahead and turn it in because that's his job, right?
Mhm.
He's not
Yeah.
100% sold yet on saving this thing. He knows that there's something there. He wants to protect it. But I think he's going to go back. And then something's going to happen. He's going to realize something, and that's when he makes the turn and says, okay, no, I'm protecting this thing.
Yeah, it could very well be that.
I caught this video. It was an interview video from like a extra. It's like one of those. It's one of those shows like Entertainment Tonight, and they were interviewing Gina Carano on the red carpet or whatever, and they were asking her about her character and all, and she said that she runs into the Mandalorian as he's passing through whatever planet that she's already on. So I don't know, but if either something happens and he lands somewhere before he takes the baby back or what, but I'm gonna guess that he meets Cara Dune before he takes the baby back to whatever the Herzog's character.
The planet.
They didn't name the planet yet.
No, it's obviously an outpost where they go where the guild is basically there, and that's where they collect the bounties and take the bounties back to.
What's up, Chad?
I want to say that I, heard or was put under the impression or whatever that they are, where the guild is, where Apollo Creed is hanging out, is on Tatooine. And the reason I say, like there's like a really good chance that it is Tatooine, is because not only that planet, but the snowy planet that he went to in the first episode. If you turn on the closed captions, it says right there in black and white that alien language that you hear the people speaking was Hut or Hut.
Hutties.
Yeah, but we learned.
Space.
Yeah,
There's more
we learned
planets. Pretty big.
Yeah, Hut Space is pretty big.
I mean,
Yeah.
but they're at least
Could be on the outer rim. It could be an outer rim planet. I think it's probably definitely an outer
but
rim planet.
the guild shop or whatever you want to say is in Hut space somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. For sure it's in Hut Space.
Totally, yeah.
I like this thing that Chad said. I'd like it if the show had him go full anti-hero and have his story be one where he has to fight to turn the baby in and does so, or show it says, but I think he means does so. That's really interesting thought process. I don't know if they'll do that though.
You know the part that they show where Werner Herzog is like, they're outside waiting for you. I think that might be the time when the Mandalorian shows up with the baby. And he's like, no, you're not going to freaking take the baby. And, then Herzog is like, well, they're out there waiting for you.
Yeah, because what, in that scene in the trailer, does he have his full Beskar armor at that point?
He has,
little by little, he's going to be building his armor.
At least from the waist up, he does, because both of his shoulder pieces and his chest piece are that nice silver Beskar.
Yeah, shiny. Yeah, Beskar. Yep. Yeah, so that could be towards the end. Maybe
that's most likely to be in episode 8. Would be my guess.
Yeah. We finally see him in full armor. So you're thinking he doesn't make it back to that planet until the very end? Like he keeps getting distracted along the way?
I think that's how you're going to meet people.
Like a road trip, basically a road trip.
Well, how many factions do we say we have? We have the Empire Remnant. You have the Bounty Hunter Guild. You have
the Hutts, Crimson Dawn,
like 6 other ones there. So that's 8 altogether. 5 or 6, 8, something like between 6 and 8. Well, every episode, if you have 8 episodes, you have your beginning episode. You have he gets the object. Now we have 6 more episodes to learn who the rest of these people are. Each episode, if it's like TV, is going to be a different faction. You will, and as it moves on, those factions can be multiple in sorts, but you're probably going to spend more time on each episode with one faction and what he does with that faction or what happens between him and that faction. Because if this is how it is, and I can't remember who it was that said, he'd be disgracing the Mandalorians if he didn't finish his bounty. But here's the thing. This is probably a rare exception. We are talking about a child. They don't do that. They don't, because if he feels that child is in danger, and that's what you've got to do in these next episodes, make him want to not turn in his bounty because he realizes this child will be killed.
His honor won't let him do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to make it so he has a legitimate belief that by not turning in this bounty, he's actually doing the right thing based off of his and Mandalorian's belief. That there's a higher power than the bounty, and that is this child, if I turn it in, is going to die, or that something bad is going to happen to this child. And yes, it's going to tie his backstory into it, but he's going to have a reason. So I don't think he's going to get disgraced. It may come up halfway through that's what it looks like, that the Mandalorians turn against him, and maybe they come after him, or maybe we find a few of them go after him, maybe. But I think by the end of it that you're going to find out that.
Well, not only does he have to come across Gina Carano, her character, but the one of the other people that was mentioned was anybody ever watch Sons of Anarchy?
No.
I've seen episodes, but I haven't watched the whole series.
Well, do you remember seeing the dude that they called Elvis? He was like a shorter, stockier guy with like really curly hair, and anyway.
No, I didn't.
He's supposed to be in this show somewhere, and then also the great comedian Bill Burr.
Yes,
is playing a triple gun, like dual pistol and some sort of freaking shoulder-mounted gun, dude, and which is one of the scenes that they show on commercials and stuff, where he's like, all 3 guns ablazing, shooting either at the Mandalorian or somebody. So there's like at least 2, if not 3 people that he has to run across. Before the end of this show. So.
Yeah, I think that's how you're going to meet the factions. Think of it like any other TV series. And honest to God, to tell you the truth, they might get to the planet by the end of this, but we know there's a second season already being shot right now.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if it's a cliffhanger. He's not back.
Well, there is supposed to be halfway through the season, there's supposed to be like a big moment that's like it changes it impacts everything, the Star Wars universe in general, and it's supposed to come halfway through, I think episode 4 or 5. It's supposed to be a big reveal that like changes everything in Star Wars. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Think Filoni's going to try to bring back the EU in this? He just jumps out on camera. Hey, newsflash! We're going to bring back the EU. Boom! Jumps back out of the frame, and it kind of keeps going.
He already has a track record of bringing the EU back, because he's done it in Rebels and the Clone Wars. But I'm gonna speculate that that we're gonna finally get to see the lovely Gina Carano either in this next episode.
I hope so.
And if by some chance we don't see her in this next episode, she should definitely be there in episode 4. But I'm gonna say, as much as they've been promoting her, I think there's a good chance we'll see her on this next episode.
Well, I mean, if they don't, Anita Sarkeesian is gonna flip her lid.
Right.
Oh, she's gonna
They
walk
better-
right up to
better let
Lucasfilm and start flipping tables.
Yeah, we're worried about that, aren't we?
Oh, real
Oh my
worried.
gosh,
Bless
yeah.
your heart.
They better get her in as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. I'm quaking. I know you guys are.
Oh, absolutely.
and that tweet that she put out, she misspelled Mandalorian.
Oh, she doesn't know what she's doing.
She was like Mande.
Would have been funny if
She
she had
meant to
stuttered
say
it.
Mandalorian.
So
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Why is it one Mandalorian?
there is proof in one tweet. There is proof that Anita Sarkeesian can neither spell nor count. Okay, so
Mhm.
And she uses the picture for the Mandalorian where it's spelled right there in front of her, right on,
Right.
Oh, it
right
doesn't
there.
care.
I mean that's like having a cheat sheet on a test and going, no, I think it's B.
Getting it wrong.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So where do we go? Do we go right back to the planet, or are we gonna see some
I
other
think it
stuff?
goes right back to the planet.
Okay. So I got comics back to the planet. Final. Where's it going?
I think it's going to go back to the planet too. I think he might get stopped once along the way, but I think he's going to get back to the planet in the next episode or 2.
Well, no, we're going with next episode. Is he back on the planet or not? Yes or no?
Planet.
I got 2 planets for sure. Comics and Bear.
Yeah, I'm going planet.
Final
I'm going
says planet. Shellback planet.
Yeah.
Something's gonna pull him back.
I'm gonna say there's a chance he goes back to the planet, but he's not gonna be going directly back to Werner Herzog. So he may end up
He
going
might go
back,
back to Carl Weathers.
Mm.
but he's not gonna be meeting up with Herzog just yet.
No.
Also, a little
There's too many
side note.
people.
Little side note.
Mhm.
You know the egg scene in the last episode.
Mhm.
A little explanation for that. Pretty much, Jawas will do anything. They will give any amount of junk for one of those eggs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an aphrodisiac or some kind of delicacy to them.
Mm-hmm.
So they will pay any price for that particular egg.
Mm-hmm. That's why they gave him back his stuff.
Yep. Pretty
Wait,
much.
hold on.
Well, I mean, did you see them? They were all like chanting, the egg,
Eggs.
the egg, the
They
egg.
were
Yeah.
reading it like
That was pretty funny.
yeah. I got a kick out of that scene.
And another thing that was funny was like, they're like the one made fun of him for his Jawa ease or whatever, and he's like, "You understand this?"
The flamethrower. Yeah, that
And
was
then-
that was a
and
really
then
good
a couple
scene.
of them, and then a couple
It
of
was.
them to the baby, and he's like, "Get away from it!" And they're like, "Ah!"
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're going back to the planet. I think this is, I mean, and I hate to use this as terminology for it, but I think they're going to end up doing this kind of like how Knight Rider was. We're going to see the different places. We're going to see where these guys are camped out. I think he's going to get captured once by one of these guilds. They're going to take him back. We already know that the Black Sun group, I think, the people we see in that one where he comes up with the guy in all the black robes, we know that's I believe that's going to be on a different planet. I say he's going to get captured at least once, and I think
Before he gets back to the planet.
yeah, I honestly think we're going to get an episode. So far, we have seen them stay on this planet for a
2
full
episodes.
show and a third at least of the first episode.
Plus, there's one of the shots where he's flying over a forested planet.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What time's the episode supposed to go back?
Now, I mean, could we get to the point where perhaps he does take the baby in and he does give it and he does get his bounty, and then what he does is he turns around and he realizes it's a grave mistake, and then he
Yeah.
tries to track
Yeah.
those people?
Yep.
That's
That
what I
could
think
be
is gonna
too.
happen.
That could happen. I mean, I'm not saying that won't happen. I just think it's going to be the opposite. But
Yeah, he's going to get that Beskar somehow.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's very true. I mean, because right now the only Beskar we know that's there.
I mean, he could do the Han Solo.
I'm gonna take back what I said too, because it would make sense why he would get the Beskar now, because his armor got jacked in the last episode pretty
Yeah.
badly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That chest plate was totally messed
one
up.
more-
Yeah.
One more person that he
do you think- do you
has
think,
to run across.
You think there's a possibility that there could be some communication between the yodeling and the Mando? Whether
Like
it's
talking to each other, or
whether
mind
it's
reading?
spoken
The only
or,
way that might happen
Telepathic.
is the yodeling being able to telepathically, which is possible.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
because they seem to be focusing on that yodeling a lot.
Well, that yodeling is like, again, it's
Yo.
already latched on to the Mandalorian. That Mandalorian, there's something about these two, and okay, let's go with the
There's an
cosmic.
unspoken bond.
Let's go cosmically in the Star Wars universe.
Ooh, I love
Things
that.
that have to happen are made to happen in Star Wars. They happen anyways. And this is what I tell people about the new trilogy. It's not done well, but it's going that direction. It's going to happen anyways. That's how this works. So these two were meant to be seen. They were meant to meet. And now that they've met, that yodeling, since it has the sensitivity of the Force, I think knows. I mean, as far as we know, they both, later on we might find out both of them are more reliant on each other than we know. That one is protecting the other while the other thinks it's protecting it, and it's actually they're both protecting each other. And if they are separated, that they're seriously, gravely in danger. I mean, there's a lot of theories we can go there, and I mean, we're just diving into that because we saw a bond start to happen when he's fighting the creature, and I forgot the name of it now.
The hairy rhino.
Yeah,
The
Mud
Rhino-
horn, I think is
It's
what
a
it was called.
Mudhorn, yeah.
okay, yeah.
Mudhorn.
When it started
From
charging, the
Admiral
first thing, the first thing he did was he used his controls to push it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
He is even in his own peril, he's thinking about this child. And when the child realized that he was about to be perished, it helped him, and both did it at their own risk of their own life. Because we saw what the Force did to the yodeling. It knocked it out for how many days or how long? I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
But
At
I
least-
think
at least
he
a
was
good 12
faking it
hour
though.
nap.
You could tell towards the end he was kind of faking it because he kind of wakes up when the Mandalorian's not paying attention to him. So I think he was kind of feigning sleep,
but
for a little bit at least.
But it did affect him. That's what I'm saying.
no, for
and
sure.
and if it had been anything more, how badly would the thing have been affected? I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thought process. If this is truly, and I don't see how we're not going to find it's not, but if this is a direct same creature as Yoda was. Remember, Yoda's 900 years old and he looks wrinkly and old and crutchy. You know, he looks like he's done. What if the use of the Force actually doesn't harm them, but physically affects them? Because notice, when they use the Force, they're fine. They're all okay. Even Yoda was able to do the jumping around in the prequels and stuff, but even after the fact, he used so much energy, and then he's back to being thing. What if this is
moved
that?
slowly because
What
of
if
that.
this is the creature's? What if that's just a part of the creature? Is that when they use the Force, their abilities, they save their energy, their abilities are that. But as soon as they're done using the Force, they're spent. They're crippled. They're hurt because, or not hurt. I don't want to say that, but they're crippled. There's something
Weakened.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's a possibility. I think part of it is the fact that when Yoda was using the Force during the fight with Dooku, the reason why he was able to do all that stuff was because he was using the Force. Where when he started walking away, he was limping again, is because he wasn't.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They reserve their energy because they are so much. They use the Force so much more than most people, perhaps.
He was also 800 some years old, though. So
Oh, come
Yeah,
on!
he
Stop
was
making
just
excuses
freaking
for the
old.
guy. Jeez, 800. When 800 years old you reach, look as good you will not.
Heart attack. Should have had that cheeseburger. I should not.
Now hand me that steak. I'm hungry.
Try to
dude,
spill my
That
space
was
Pepsi.
another.
Kiss
that was
you,
another one of my favorite
kiss your
moments.
sister. You did. Bad choice it was.
When Baby Yoda, because I'm sorry, I can't say yodeling because
It's a
every time you
yodeling.
say
I love that. I love that terminology.
Yodeling.
No,
Well,
Baby Yoda.
plus Yaddle equals yodel.
When he ate that damn frog, I was like, hell yeah!
Spit that out right now, and it doesn't even listen. It was like
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming when
Yummy.
when the thing hopping across the ground and he's like following it. I'm like sure as shit. that
Which is
going in.
funny.
Kid, that's why I think the baby is a baby.
I think it's funny though because we've always kind of, and even Lucas made reference to Yoda was kind of like a frog. I think that's a sick, twisted joke in it that it's kind of like eating its own kind.
Yeah,
I kind of saw that. I was like,
Oh yeah.
wow, that's kind of disturbing if you think about it.
Well, it's like
Okay,
it's like
guys.
That's gonna
Trump
seem and feel different if I rewatch that.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So we got some ideas there. We went off on some tangents there, but it was all Star Wars related. Good talk. Again, I'm glad to have you guys on. I feel blessed to have you guys all on. This is great. But let's go around one more time. We did have Mike on. His information is down in the description. Everybody's information is down in the description except for Final Death Stars. So Final, while Comix is talking, why don't you put your stuff in the comments again so people can see?
let's do that.
But Final came in for Stig, who is not feeling well. So thank you very much, Final. I do appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely.
But
Love-
everybody else that was on the panel tonight is down in the description below. So please check out that stuff. And we're going to go ahead and go to Comix. Comix, please tell everybody what you're about, who you are, and where they can find you.
Oh, good lord, that's a lot. What am I about? Good.
Okay, fine. Don't worry about it then. We'll just go on to the next one. No. Go ahead.
I'm about good entertainment, be it movies, TV shows, comic books. That's kind of the reason why I think a lot of us are here. We want to see our entertainment be fun and entertaining, and not filled with political agendas and being talking down to. I can't speak.
Talked
Talk
down to.
Talking down to. Yeah.
Talking down to sounds like a country song.
Yeah.
I was talking down to the little girl, and then there was this. I guess it'd be I'm talking down to the SJW.
So yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I heard I even occasionally put out videos. My most recent one was talking about the whole fiasco with Charlie's Angels and how men are
How
being
awesome
blamed.
of a movie it is.
Oh, how fantastic it is.
All
can't
men love it. Well, actually, the bad thing is there's just not enough men in the world left. That,
Yeah.
you see, what
It's
happened is
fantastic.
all the SJWs have gone and feminized way too many men, so now they don't want to go see this movie, and that's why we don't have enough men going to see this movie. Because there's just not enough of us toxic males to go see this movie and keep it afloat.
Fair enough.
I told you, I talk crazy. It just comes out.
but talking crazy is fun. That makes it entertaining.
It's fun when it's not on purpose. I'm kidding. Sorry. Okay, but yeah, and you got BitChute too. It's down there in the description.
Yeah, BitChute's there for when YouTube finally bans me in 2020 because of the whole Kappa thing.
I have two videos. Well, one now because one of the videos YouTube finally let me put up. But I have one video that YouTube just refuses, and I put a dispute in, and it said if you continue this dispute, we could kick you off completely. So I said, "Oh, BitChute, come on."
Yeah,
I
that's
threw it on
such
BitChute. I said, "I'm
bull.
not even bothering with it anymore."
It's insane when you're persecuted just for saying, "Hey, I didn't do that. That didn't happen," or like,
Mhm.
you can't stick up for yourself.
Nope.
Get
Not. I
penalized
mean,
for it.
where's the 1-800 number? Hey, dude, this is
Yeah.
what happened. This is what I'm trying to do.
Remember, standing up for yourself is a sign of guilt. You're guilty.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Well, I can't say that word.
friggle,
I'm fracked.
frackled.
I'm frackened.
Sorry, I F-bombed you earlier.
No, it's okay. Here and there, in between, you know what? It's all right. I'll live. I'm not monetized yet, so hey, it's all right.
That actually doesn't affect your monetization. I say it all the
I
time
know.
in videos, and that doesn't mess with it.
But it's not for kids, so that just helps me prove the point. So thank you.
Well, I changed.
I'm like a little research on
the stream when I came on.
You what?
I said I changed the rating of the stream when I came on.
Yeah. All right, final. Tell everybody about you. Tell them where they can find you, what you're about.
Final Death Star on this YouTube platform for now, and we'll see in January what happens with the COPPA police. But yep, talk about Star Wars and nerd culture, and I've been reviewing The Mandalorian each episode it comes out, and we like to talk about rumors and leaks, and when I say rumors, they're opinions, they're stories, they're reports. We don't know if they're true. There's been a lot of heat coming our way on, talking about these rumors and presenting them as fact. But no, they're just rumors. They're stories. We don't know. We're just presenting them for fun to, converse with people, see what you think. Here's the talk of the town. So I like to do that.
Conversation's
And if you like to
bad.
listen, then come on over to my channel, check me out, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, right. And then, Shellback, we'll just skip you. No.
All right.
Shellback
Race.
TJC, come on up here and tell everybody about you. Tell them where they can find you, what your channel is, what you're about. How far can you hide in that shell? Is that a sensitive topic?
Well, basically, if you any of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's me. And that Splinter guy is he's a fraud. It was not him. It was me. No. No, I'm Shellback TJC here on YouTube and Twitter. My content making is sporadic.
That's why we have you on the live streams, though.
College student, and I try to give that priority. Keyword try. And some of it has been about serious stuff, like there's a couple of videos I've made that were like political in nature, and a couple that were talking about veterans issues.
Do you still have, what was it, God Bless the USA?
No, nobody really likes to watch that stuff, I don't know. But I did a couple of videos where I'm like basically singing. But probably the majority of my stuff has been entertainment related. But yeah, I don't know. I just do whatever I feel like doing, So.
Here you go, Shell. Here, this is what Mr. Pete the Mr. Pete channel needs 800 subs. I can't tell when Shell is in character or not.
He's right. Yeah, he's right. Absolutely.
And you say that
What
like
character?
a bad thing.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Don't judge me, Pete. Don't judge me.
Don't put baby in a corner. Don't put Shell in a corner.
Yeah.
All right, Bear. Tell everybody where you can be found, what you're about, all of that fun stuff.
You can find me at Bear Nerd Fun with exclamation point. And got some new videos out. I tend to put 3 or 4 out at one time or staged within a few hours of each other. And you can catch us on Fourth Wave. We just changed our time. Saturdays and is it Wednesdays final?
Yeah, I think it's Wednesdays. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I should say that. Wednesday nights, I think at like 4 p.m. or 3 or 4 p.m. Pacific time, and then Saturdays at 3 again p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah. Yep.
On author Stephen Walton's channel.
So yeah, so
we do it on
catch us on the Office channel.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth Wave. Yeah.
Fourth Wave.
Which is not to be associated with how many people are a part of that show.
Exactly.
As we talked about earlier, it's kind of the lone gunman, the
Ranger,
the Lone Rangers. Like that was the thing about the X-Files, the lone gunmen.
Yeah.
The Lone Rangers. You're in that.
And also not to be confused with New Wave either.
Yeah. Exactly.
Also, how many more did they got to go in the goal for the Indiegogo for Steven's book?
Oh, they're at 133% of the goal, so they're over.
They're like
a
little over.
I'm pretty sure he met it.
He did,
I posted a link in the chat.
I can't wait for my copy.
Yeah, same here.
Same here.
I got the signed copy.
I got a signed copy as well.
That's what I got coming too, and I told him he better give me a nice memento in there, and I'm now afraid of what I might get.
He personalized it.
Oh, yay. I wonder what that's going to give me. No. Okay. So what we're doing, guys, just so you know, we're going to watch tomorrow or Saturday, one of the two. Make sure you watch the third episode. And we're going to be back on Sunday, so we're closer to the actual drop of it. So
Sunday drops on Pacific time, right?
What was that?
The new episode drops on Pacific time?
Yes, 12 Pacific.
Yeah, pretty much after midnight.
Cool.
After midnight, me and you should be able to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the screen now, and it hasn't dropped quite yet.
No, see, I'm actually going to catch it. I might watch it at work if we're slow enough, because I'm there at 2, so that's when it comes out here. So, whatever.
So you can watch it at what 10?
No, I can watch it at 2 because we're 2 hours ahead of you. It's 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern, which makes it 1 hour earlier for me, which is 2 a.m. So you guys get it 2 hours before us. So it all drops at the same time.
Yeah, that whole time changing thing, when I have to think of numbers, it makes my brain hurt. Dyslexia.
I don't like the math. I use the term I don't like to math.
Well, it's not math. It's dyslexia.
I don't like the math.
Maths is hard.
Just as long as you remember to carry the 1, you're fine.
You got to understand.
Where do I carry it to, though? And it's so heavy.
I don't
Repeat, thanks.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. Okay, guys. Everybody, thank you for coming and watching. We're going to go ahead and get off of here. But yeah, Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll have a few tweets that day telling you about it. So make sure you come back here for the Mandalorian Roundtable. Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate all you guys coming on here. And everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.